we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about it. So I have what is called HS, right? Hidradenitis Suppurativa. Long story short, it's inflammation of your sweat glands, or of your of the tunnels, the tracks, the sinus tracts that travel up under these sweat glands. And so let me just explain to you what happens with it, right? 3 processes that don't function properly. And they have to all 3 be not functioning properly in order for your body to show symptoms of HS, right? The first one is that your immune system, you have to have an immune dysfunction. So it's an autoimmune disorder for a reason. Being autoimmune basically means that your body, your immune system works, but it doesn't know when to work. And so it attacks things that it's not supposed to, and tries to expel things. It's basically trying to fix it's trying to fix you. Like, your immune system means no harm. It comes in peace, I promise. Your immune system is trying to heal you. It's just doing it wrong. That's it. It's just doing it wrong. Picture your antibodies or your white blood cells, the entire system that comprises your immune system. Picture it as like little boxers that attack things when they're not supposed to be in your body. So any kind of bacteria, anything foreign, anything that is not benefiting your body gets attacked by your immune system. That's how it works. It works in different ways, depending on what it is you have. Your body is trying to keep its natural, positive balance. That is the immune system's job. In me and in other people that are autoimmune, our immune system thinks everything needs to be attacked, right? Everything is an intruder. So it's constantly fighting. It is constantly overworking, because everything must go. It all has to go. And so for that reason, my immune system is really weak. Because, like I said, if they're tiny little boxers, right, after 24 years of boxing relentlessly 24/7 at every single little thing that goes into your body, it's going to be weak. It's going to be tired. Name me a boxer that's going to box 24/7 for 24 years and, you know what I mean, and not be tired. So my immune system is really weak, and it gets weaker the older you get because it's constantly overdoing itself, right? That's the first process. My body doesn't know what to attack, so it attacks everything. It tries to expel everything from my body. The second process is that I have what is affectionately known as LGS, right? Leaky Gut Syndrome. That's the affectionate name. In reality, it's just intestinal permeability. Picture your intestinal wall as like cheesecloth or something, or some kind of cloth, like gauze, something like that. It can absorb things, it expands, it contracts, it is really very loose, it's kind of elastic, but it's almost like a netting. So my netting is so thin that, one, it can't really break down a lot of things, right? It's supposed to expand and contract with the assistance of, all of your organs and stomach acid and all of that stuff to break down the foods that you consume. Essentially, just picture, right, that my intestines are so thin that a lot of foods it can't break down. A lot of things, period, it cannot break down. And what happens in turn is that because it's so thin, you can get like tiny tears in your intestinal wall, and things can escape. Like, imagine, I know this isn't actually how it works, right? But picture that I ate like a piece of bread, right? And my body can't break down grains and stuff, right? So my intestinal system is working and working and working, and some of the grain that it couldn't break down escapes. So now that grain that it couldn't break down is out of my intestinal tract. It's out of my digestive system and into my body. And somebody summoned the immune system, because now there is something foreign in my body, and my immune system has to go to work. I mean, they send it in SWAT teams for this, because we've already established that my immune system attacks any and everything, especially things that actually don't belong. So random particles, chemicals, and all of that stuff escapes just into my body, into my bloodstream, into my systems where it doesn't belong, so it's being attacked. And you end up with a lot of stomach pain and whatnot from that. But that's the second system. Long story short, that's the second system. The third system, the system that brings it all to a close, that doesn't function properly, is my sweat glands. Now, there are two types of sweat glands. I don't know the medical names for them. We're not even talking in medical terms right now. We're going to call them type A and type B. Type A sweat glands are the ones that you just have everywhere, right? If you go outside in the sun and, all of this starts sweating, and your forehead's sweating, and your scalp gets sweaty, and and you're sweating behind your ears and all that stuff, those are type A sweat glands. Normal, regular sweat glands, okay? Then there are the more intense, the more functional, the more purposeful sweat glands, the ones that actually are used to expel bacteria and stuff from your body. Type B sweat glands, the ones that are under your arms, the ones that are in your groin, when there are concentrated areas of like skin folds. When skin touches skin, the sweat glands that form right there, the ones that are in dark places, the ones that are that don't really get air, that don't really get oxygen, the ones that stink. You know what I mean? Like, yes, sweat has a smell. It has like a salty smell, but underarm sweat doesn't smell like forehead sweat, and you know this, right? And it's because they're two different types of sweat glands, and they kind of serve two different purposes. One of them is to maintain your internal body temperature, which are the ones that are everywhere, your type A ones. And the other kind of sweat gland is, like I said, to expel what is foreign in your body that your immune system is working to do. Those sweat glands have tracts up under them, like sinus tracts, and they kind of connect all of the sweat glands, and those are in which the bacteria, arrives, and it ends up pushing to the top, and then it comes out, and you're sweating, and that's how the process works, right? It doesn't work that way for me. I don't actually know what it is that makes my sweat glands become inflamed the way they do. I don't know why I have the sweat gland problem as opposed to any other autoimmune disorder problem. I don't know, but that's the case. My sweat glands, instead of opening and sweating like normal, they swell. So the tracts up under my sweat glands, when they're trying to expel things from my body because they've been attacked by my compromised immune system after leaking out of my gut, when those bacteria and stuff are trying to be expelled, they swell instead of just sweating like normal people. And then they start to swell, and then my immune system goes at it again, and then it's sending white blood cells and stuff to it, and so it fills with like pus, and you get like these cystic kind of nodules that are inside of them that come out, and sometimes they swell and they go down, and sometimes they swell and they bust, and that's, you know what I mean, like, that's nasty. This is why people don't talk about it. They swell and they burst, and it's disgusting. Nobody likes pus. I don't even like saying the word pus. I don't like it, and nobody likes pus. People that pop pimples for fun. Long story short, it hurts. It hurts a lot, and it's ugly, and it leaves scarring, and it's hard to deal with, and it stinks, and it requires a lot of care. Swelling and bursting and healing, and swelling and bursting and healing over and over and over again for 24 years. Do you see what I mean? It's not only is it painful and disgusting and ugly and it stinks, it's miserable. It's miserable. It takes your self-esteem and like crushes it. I'm not gonna cry. It's miserable. That is essentially, in layman's terms, give or take a little bit. Don't be in my comments talking about that's wrong, that's not what happens. If you have a better way of explaining it in layman's terms, by all means, please go for it. But that's basically it. That's what happens.